And hello from Lights and Gear. We have another flashlight to talk about today. This time it's something new from Astrolux. This is the FT02, which has an XHP35 high D4 LED. This was furnished by my friends at Banggood, and they actually have, I believe, two types. This is a cool white version, but there's also a neutral white. And not much on the box except for the little picture on the front. So let's open that up. And Astrolux has put out some nice lights in the last year or two. And this one, they are continuing a tradition of very bright and powerful lights. Also inside the box here are your accessories. Here's a lanyard. And also in here are a couple of spare O-rings. And those are pretty standard items. Here's the user manual, which is pretty clear in its description of everything that goes on with the light. As you can see right here, it has a maximum output of 2250 lumens, so pretty bright. And elsewhere, of course, here are the other pieces of information regarding the beam intensity. It has a beam distance of 800 meters, so this is a very long range light. It also has the booster circuit for and the constant current driver to keep the obviously to keep the output up even as the battery fades. And you have your military grade hard anodized finish, as well as overcharge and discharge protection. It is impact resistant to 2 meters and waterproof to IPX7. And it is made for 21700 battery. They do not furnish the battery. It is also USB rechargeable, but they do not furnish the charging cable. And here's your basic information there that we just talked about, the specifications. So anyway, let's take a look at the light here. It's about just a little over 6 inches long, and it has, as you can see, it has a very large head. And this is about, I think this is what, about 3 inches across on the head, and tapers down to just over an inch here on the barrel. Here's the switch. It tail stands. It's not necessarily tactical, so it tail stands beautifully. And your switch here on the side has all your operations. On the other side is the USB charging port. And it's a standard. It's not a USB-C, so there that is. And as soon as you plug the USB cable in to charge, the illumination underneath the switch will start blinking. So it flashes green while it's charging, and then when the charge is finished, it goes to a solid green. So here's your LED deep down inside there, the XHP35, just that little square boy. So this has, because of the deep reflector and so for the smooth reflector and the deep LED, you know it's going to have a long range throw, and it absolutely does. I'll get to a couple of pictures here in a few moments to prove that. But so undo the cap, and you have the spring inside here. So this is accommodating for various size batteries, more or less. And the tube is rather large. It is actually, as I said before, it's made for a 21700 battery, something like this. And this will give you longer runtime, provided the mAh, or the capacity of the battery, is large, as this one happens to be at 5000. It won't give you any brighter light. It just gives you longer runtime. But you can also use an 18650. If you don't have any 21700s or don't want to bother with that, you can use an 18650. And on those, along those lines, it comes with this little adapter. I've never seen one quite like this, but it's a little different. You can basically use any kind of adapter for that matters. For that matters, you know, like a clear tube adapter, as long as the base of the battery is making contact. You know, it's just the width which needs to be stiffened a little inside the inside the tube so it doesn't rattle around. So this which they furnish with the light covers both those angles. So here's a Q 30Q 18650, and they do recommend an unprotected battery or an IMR. That's what Astrolux recommends. So with this, you'd put the battery in the base like that, and then put it in the light, and then put the cap back on. So there you go. That just goes right in there, and the cap goes on there. So that's how you'd use an 18650. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I will use the 21700. Nice threads on here, by the way. And they do come pretty well greased. Now, one of the other things I don't believe I mentioned yet, and oh, by the way, as soon as you put the battery in and make contact, it does flash there a couple of times. There you go. So it shows that you put the battery in correctly. It has some nice features, and one of the things it does, which I haven't mentioned yet, it's not a standard mode light, it's a ramping light. So by pressing the button, and you will get instant light as soon as you press the button. So you don't have to hold and press to turn it on or turn it off. Just press the button and it comes right on. But it is a ramping flashlight, so pressing and holding will ramp it right up. And then pressing and holding again will ramp it right down. And as is the case with a lot of these lights, if you pause for just a moment and then hit it again, it'll go in the opposite direction. But so it is a ramping light, so it goes anywhere from about a low of around 10 lumens up to 2200. So, but that's the ramping part of the light. So there are no set modes, and it doesn't really tell you where you're at as far as a halfway point or anything like some ramping lights do. But you can kind of guess that. Now, some of the other features of the light, it has, if I turn it off, it has instant access to the lowest mode, and for that I would press and hold, and then from anywhere, as long as it's off. Of course it has mode memory, but I can get instant access to the lowest mode by pressing and holding. Now, if I turn it off and then turn it back on again, mode memory will remember that it was in the lowest mode, so you'd have to change it if you want to go back up again. And it also has instant access to the highest mode, and with that I would double click, and then I get instant access to effectively what is turbo. And then you can turn it off from there, but of course turning it back on again will go right back to turbo. If I want strobe, I can hit it. Let's see, let's do this. I know it strobe is in here, but it also does a battery check. And the battery check is by pressing it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. It blinks a couple of times, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So there it told me it's 4 volts. It doesn't really blink the tenths of the tenths of a volt. It pretty much just goes 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, actually, in the manual, it says it's supposed to blink 5 times. Now, this battery is fully charged, and it gave me 4 blinks. But it does these little blinks at first, and then it clicks, and then it goes like that. And it blinked 4 times after those little series of blinks. But it says in the manual that it should go 5 times if the battery is completely charged. So as you can see here, the other specialty modes, it does the instant access to turbo and the instant access to low. It has the battery check, and you can also lock it and unlock it, and that would be 4 clicks to unlock it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it blinks at me, and then nothing will work. It is effectively locked out. So I have to click it 4 times. Actually, no, you don't click it 4 times again. You do something a little different by unscrewing the cap, and then that turns it off. Or that resets it, I should say. So now it's reset by unscrewing the cap, and then of course you get the the blinks again when you tighten it up again. So that's four presses to lock it, and then a loosening of the cap to unlock it. And then it also has momentary mode for almost like a tactical light. It doesn't have the rear switch for tactical, but it offers the momentary mode, and that's by doing it 5 times fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it blinks at me, and then the only thing it'll do there is come on in turbo by pressing the button. So as soon as you release the button, it goes off, and it's always in turbo. It can't do anything else. And then to unlock it, you have to do the same as if you're in the lock mode. You have to turn the tail cap again to reset it back. And then it also has a breathing light, and that is for 6 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flashes at you, and then it does this and breathes. And I suppose you could leave it like that if you were camping or doing something, or you wanted like a little night light, or you wanted to put it somewhere where you could be able to find it in the dark, that kind of a thing. So that's the reason for the breathing light, if you should so want that. And I guess you can pretty much leave that on all the time if you want, because the light still operates the same way. But as soon as you turn it off, you always have the breathing light on, and of course that is going to use your battery. I don't know at what rate it draws. I don't know how much voltage it draws from the battery to keep that on, but I would imagine it's probably relatively light. So anyway, those are the main functions of the light. And I believe if you click it 6 times again, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that will blink at me, and then yeah, that turns it off. So let's take a look at the beam right here, which we actually haven't done yet to the degree that you can say that I showed you the beam. So here I am in low, and if you can tell from this beam, it is very, very focused. So I'm almost not looking at this light as being one which is perfect for indoors. To me, I believe it is better for outdoors, and obviously at a distance where it can do what it's supposed to do and really illuminate at a distance, whereas you have the spill here, which does also give you some peripheral light, but it's such a focused beam. But anyway, so this is low right now, and if I double click, I'll go right up to turbo. So here's turbo, and obviously anything in between is going to be in between. So that's basically it. And if I pressed and held here, of course it'll just go back up again, so I need to turn it off and then press and hold again to go down to low, and double click to go up to turbo. While we're on the subject of the beam here, let's take a look at the outdoor beam shots, and you can see the kind of long distance illumination it gives you outside. Okay, hope that gave you some idea of what kind of usage this light might have for search and rescue, or just for illuminating a long area, say at the back of a property or across a lake or something along those lines. But anyway, this is what the Astrolux FT02 can do, and just imagine the possibilities, I suppose. Now, if you'd like to read my full review of it, of course, the link is below where you can visit lightsandgear.com and see some additional pictures, additional outdoor shots, of course. And you can also there's also a link to make the purchase on Banggood of the light, And that link is below, and that link will also be at my written review at lightsandgear.com. And if you do have any questions or comments regarding the FT02, by all means let me know that below. But in the meantime, hope you've enjoyed the video, and this has been the Astrolux FT02 in all its glory with the XHP35 high LED. So anyway, hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.